Hey guys, I'm back with another relationship video, and I just have to say thank you so much. I'm getting such a great response back from these videos, and honestly I didn't really think that I would at all. They kind of just started out as me just ranting about stuff that I thought was stupid, and apparently you guys think stuff's stupid too, or you hate my guts. Either way, you're giving me views, so come on down. So this video is going to be all about how to handle a breakup. Again, I'm going to say before this video that just a couple things. It's primarily directed towards teens and people in their 20s. However, anybody that can benefit from this knowledge and wisdom, please go ahead. 2, I am in my late 20s, and yes, I know I get a lot of comments, people saying that I'm old and things like that. Sure, if you want to say I'm old, that's fine with me. But I will say this, that I'm just old enough to remember how it was to be in high school, but old enough to also have learned quite a bit, because you really do learn. I truly think your 20s are all about you just finding yourself and learning who you are. So that's what I've done with my 20s. So with that, let's get started. You and your significant other have broken up. Sorry to hear you. No joke, I'm sorry. Now, you could have broken up with them, or they could have broken up with you. Either way, hopefully this video will help you. Now, if they broke up with you, that sucks, but it's almost easier in a lot of ways. If you broke up with them, hopefully you're to the point where you can just say, we're broken up, I'm drawing a line in the sand, and we're moving forward from here. AKA, I'm moving forward alone, by myself. If you've been broken up with, it could be a little bit more difficult to wrap your mind around, but I do have a lot of great suggestions for both scenarios, because let's face it, even when you're the breaker-upper, unless you're like a heartless fucking asshole or bitch, you usually, you know, are hurt because you ended a relationship. So I have some really good advice and also some practical shit that has got me through the hard times myself. The first thing that I'm going to say right off is accept it. Just accept that the relationship is over. If you've broken up with them, obviously, I'll tell you this, from being truly, deeply, and ridiculously soulmately in love right now, and having been in that situation for, you know, a year and a half, and living with my boyfriend, and really truly feeling I've met the one, I'll tell you this. If you're thinking about breaking up with someone, you probably should just do it. Because when you meet the one, when you truly, truly, truly meet the one, and I'll tell you, you're not meeting the one when you're 17 years old. That's usually the case. Especially in our society nowadays, yeah, maybe your parents or your grandparents, but I'd say less than 1% of people that are going to be actually truly madly in love and have a healthy relationship are not going to be meeting each other in high school these days. Maybe you can force the relationship for 50 years. That's another thing. But if you truly want a healthy relationship, usually it doesn't happen under the age of 24. Or even 30, at that matter. Either way, if you've broken up with him, realize that there's a reason why this has been gnawing at you and making you think, oh, maybe I should break up with this person. If they've broken up with you, maybe you're really devastated. It's gonna just hurt your pride. Bottom line is even if this guy was a fucking loser that you never wanted to see again, when somebody dumps you, that hurts your pride. One thing that would always get me through, even when I realized, oh, this person isn't for me, or when someone would be like, oh, you know, I don't really know if I'm looking for a relationship, blah, blah, blah. I just look at things as a numbers game. I'd really try to not take things personally. If you go to a party with 20 women, you're not going to, and you're a girl, you're not going to necessarily hit it off and become best friends with every single one of those women. It's a numbers game. Some people's personalities will match with you, some people's won't. So try not to take it as personally as possible, which is really, really hard to do. But just know that if someone breaks up with you, they're not the one. Like, if you're even going through that, oh, should we stay together? Should we not stay together? Back, forth, like, you don't do that with the person that's the one. So just move on and focus on yourself. So you may be saying, how do I move on? Like, literally this guy just called me on the phone or texted me, which is disgusting, or we were in person and we just got in a big fight and we broke up. What do I do right now? I need some damage control. 1, delete all contacts and all information from your phone. 2, delete him from Facebook. Just delete him. Delete. 3, untag him from pictures if you have to, because literally you kind of have to purge yourself of this guy. Because if you're constantly seeing like texts and pictures of him like with his buddies like at like parties and stuff, you're gonna completely melt down. Even if it's all bullshit, like he may be like, yeah, take a picture of me like with this beard, post on Facebook so she sees it. Like, guys will do shit like that, and so will girls. But just purge it. Just purge it. Take down the pictures. Just like act like this whole relationship never happened. You can think about it later, but right now it's too fresh. Call your girlfriends on the phone. Yes, you may have distanced yourself from some girls, but usually the ones that hated your boyfriend the most will be the most glad that you guys broke up. So go to those girls, like, let them help you. Maybe not necessarily talk directly about the relationship or about the breakup, because you may feel that they're biased or something if they think this guy, they've been telling you this guy's a dick for months or whatever. But just watch a movie or like watch Sex and the City or something like that. It'll really make you realize you're not alone, and a lot of people have been there too. A big one is definitely listen to music. And I have some artists that I would highly recommend. Destiny's Child. You just download all Destiny's Child and you just lay in your bedroom and you just cry. That's what you need to do. Just listen to Destiny's Child and just cry it out. Just cry it the hell out. I'd say The Writings on the Wall and what's that other one? Destiny Fulfilled are 2 really good albums. Also, Lauryn Hill, Amy Winehouse, Erykah Badu, Ashanti, even though that's kind of like old school, she has a lot of like, you broke my heart and how did you do it? Adele, Beyonce, also from Destiny's Child, obviously. Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys is a really good one. She's really like, I'm a woman and you're not gonna do this to me. I'm gonna stand up for my right. So really, a lot of like the R&B female singers, or even like, I guess Taylor Swift and stuff, but I don't really listen to that kind of music. Not that it's bad. But just whatever is like a chick that's like, you aren't gonna break my heart no more. Like just, Aretha Franklin, like just anybody that's just like, I'm not putting up with it. Oh, Mary J. Blige. There you go. Like, no, you're not gonna do it to me. I'm a woman. Yeah. Stop thinking about like what could have been, what would have been, what might have been. That will torture you, especially in the first week or so. You can't even go there. Maybe you can daydream about it later, but usually in a few weeks you'll be like, oh my gosh, there was so much wrong with that relationship that I didn't even realize. And now I realize that because I'm not so like in the middle of it. But don't think about like, oh, I wanted to marry him. Oh, I wanted to have kids with him. That's all moot. That doesn't, none of that. You are mourning what you wished would have happened, not the reality of the situation. If you would have married this guy, he would have treated you like shit and cheated on you all the time, because obviously he doesn't really love you. So don't daydream about it, because it's not reality and it's just going to be too painful right now. Try to look at the big picture of your life. I know it may be really hard, especially when you're young, but look at the big picture. If you're 17 years old and your high school boyfriend broke up with you, odds are, like, take a step back and be like, how many 30-year-old women, like my aunts or my sisters or whatever, do I know that met their love of their life in high school? Probably not very many. Most people go through a series of breakups and then getting together with someone else, and then maybe getting back together with their old boyfriend, and then breakups, and then back and forth and back and forth. Like, a lot of people go through those stages. One thing I really suggest, and one thing that I try to do with my own relationships,